Hello and welcome back to Pixel Street Videos. This is the YouTube channel for a bunch of nerd shit, John.
And it's next gen week.
Bow, 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 bow. But yeah, so as you can see by the title of this video, we are going to be giving our first impressions of the PlayStation 5. If you haven't already, go check out John's unboxing of the digital version and my unboxing of the disc version. The disc version is just called the PlayStation 5, right? Like there's no...
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. And then it's just the PlayStation 5 digital edition or all digital? Mm-hmm. I don't know what it's called.
Just digital.
Okay. But yeah, I didn't know. I was unboxing and I was like, is this just called the PlayStation 5? Like, I didn't. But either way, yeah, This is going to be our first impressions video. We've now had it. John's had it for about 24 hours total, right? Since you
Close to it.
Yeah. And I've had it a little less than that. Like, I'd say probably closer to 18 hours. But either way, like, I've played it a lot since getting it, so I think that I feel comfortable kind of giving my initial thoughts on it. But yeah.
Also, a quick shout out. We also put up a video talking about our time with the Xbox Series X earlier this week. We'll probably put like one of those little things in the corner or put a link in the description for that. So be sure to check that out as well.
Yeah. What do you think, John, of the PlayStation 5?
Well, first here, I'll grab mine. Ugh. It's big. It's really, really big. Like,
it is huge.
Like, this is insane. It's filling up my... it fills up my webcam just holding it up.
The thing about it, too, is, like, there will be times that, like, I was just playing Spider-Man Miles Morales before coming to hop on to do this quick little podcast with you. But there would be times when I'm playing the game and I'll just kind of glance down because it's sitting on top of my entertainment center. And I'll just kind of glance down and I'm like, man, that thing is fucking huge. Like, yeah, I have to have it horizontal because my TV is the same exact width as my entertainment center. So if I put it on top vertically, it sticks up like 5-6 inches over the bottom of the TV. So I can't have that.
I've got it sitting on pretty much on a TV stand next to my Series X because the new TV I got was too big for it. So I'm just using that TV stand for my consoles at the moment. Okay. And yeah, it's big. We were talking about how heavy the Series X is and how big it is when we first got that, but this thing is even bigger and heavier, I think.
I think it's heavier.
I don't even know about yours because yours has even more weight with the disc drive in it.
Yeah,
but this one is already
huge.
Heavy.
It is fucking huge. And I looked at my entertainment center and it will fit. I have there's three tiers. I had to look over at it. And the middle tier is kind of like longer cubes, I guess you could say, but they're like shorter. And the PS5 will fit in one of those. My problem with that though is that the cables that came with like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, they're really short. For what I'm trying to do.
I noticed that with the PS5, not so much with the Series X. Like it's still kind of short, but the PS5 is even shorter.
Honestly, I think that's part of where they were cutting cost when they were coming up with the development of this thing, because those newer HDMI cables that are like technically 8K rated and 4K 120 hertz rated, they're pretty pricey. Like for an 8-foot one, it's like at least $40 around that area. Oh. And so for me, I'm going to need at least a 10-foot one so that I can put the consoles where I want them in my entertainment center because of how low they're going to have to go from the TV.
Yeah,
it's less than an arm.
HDMI is probably like 5 feet.
Yeah, I remember because I held it and my arms didn't even extend all the way when I was holding it taut.
Yeah, I would guess it's about 5 feet long. So yeah, they're pretty short. Yeah, if your TV is like really high above your entertainment center or something, you might be cutting it close. What do you think of the overall design of the console? Because me and Connor, I know since its unveiling, we were pretty vocal about how we're not a fan of how it looks. And I still maintain that. I don't think it's a good looking console at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the way it looks. I will say the lighting on it looks really cool. The way it
Oh,
kind
on
of
the
accents,
inside.
yeah, the way it kind of like, I don't know, accents off of those two kind of like the curved form factor of it. But yeah, I don't like the way it looks really at all either.
Yeah.
I think it just sticks out way too much like a sore thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have you put it horizontally at all?
I did during my unboxing video, and I didn't like the way it sat in the stand.
Yeah,
So
I think it
I'm
looks
doing just vertical.
I think it looks weird horizontal, and that's really my
It
only
does.
option unless I want to put this thing on the floor, which I do not.
Yeah, you do not want to do that.
Yeah, and the thing I will say is horizontally, they like the way it kind of, I don't know, with those curved sides and the way it kind of sits on there, it really makes it look like it's kind of levitating on your shelf, and that's a really cool feature of it.
I didn't think about that. That is kind of cool. So the stand itself, I've got it right here.
Yeah. Oh, yours.
I'm not a
different.
big. Yeah, so I watched your unboxing yesterday, and you were twisting it and like moving it and everything. The digital version, it's just it stays like that.
Sorry.
You can't move it at all. So when it sits on the stand, it's really wobbly. So
wait, it doesn't. That one doesn't rotate.
It doesn't rotate at all.
No, it does.
Oh wait, maybe it does.
Yeah, it does for sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
But mine is different, for sure. Because
Is it?
when mine's horizontal, so mine has a piece on the top there that it kind of can go in or out. It's not really on a spring or anything. It's just like, like where your thumb is right now. Mine is different. Yeah, the top is different because it'll when it's horizontal. I have that disk drive there, so that has to be able to like curl up a little bit to support it.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I've just been having it sitting in it like that, and it if you just like touch it, it wobbles quite a bit. It reminds me a lot of the Nintendo Switch dock in that way. And back when that first came out, I was like, I'm not too crazy about this because if you own a cat and it just rubs up against it, your console's gonna go tipping over.
I mean, did you put the screw in the bottom too?
Is there a screw on the bottom?
Yeah. I love how little you know. No, yeah. So you see the middle on the bottom of your console? That comes out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then if you rotate that base, there's a screw in it. If you look at the bottom.
I have to actually look at this.
We're doing it live here on the air, John.
Yeah, we are. Oh, okay. All right.
And that goes in the bottom. Up through the
All
console.
right. Well, I probably would have noticed that if I knew that the stand actually rotates.
Yeah, this is true. Or if you read the instruction guide at all.
Why would I read the instruction guide? Okay.
Hey, man, I don't know.
Okay. Well, then I'll have to actually do that. But yeah, because the way I've just been having it sit on there, and I was like, ugh. So it's probably better if you actually put the screw in. But I didn't know that.
I mean, horizontally, there's no screw to put in, obviously, because it's the side of the console. But when you have it vertically, I feel like that's going to make a big difference for you.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it vertical. I think we should really get into like the big thing for the console, because this was a thing that I know you and me were both pretty excited to get into and actually getting our hands on it. The DualSense controller. Yeah. There it is right there. Oh, stupid sun.
It is absolutely insane.
It's awesome. So I played quite a few hours of Astro's Playroom yesterday. And it's really hard to explain just how cool that pack-in title is, just because of what it does with your controller. If you check out our Twitter, I put up a short video yesterday showing like I was standing in hail and the controller was like mimicking the sound of hail as I was just walking around in it. And it's so cool because like everywhere you walk, depending on the surface you're walking on, you'll feel like the vibration, like you'll feel the tip tap, or if you're in mud, it'll feel like everything's like a little sloshy and everything. And then we've heard about the like bow and arrow thing that you pull back on the bow and the triggers will actually like fight against you. That's the haptic feedback. Is that what that one is?
I
or
honestly don't
adaptive
know.
triggers, something like that. Yeah, it's really cool, and it's really going to be cool to see Sony work on games that like really make use of all that. I think this is going to be a very Nintendo like situation where only Sony are really making use of the Rumble and everything with this.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's still really cool though.
I mean, to be fair with that Rumble thing, like Rumble, it might be more difficult for devs to do, but like in a game like Call of Duty or Battlefield, I don't see why. I don't see why it would be. I mean, I know nothing about development. I don't see why it would be hard for them to say, "Hey, if your weapon runs out of ammo, that trigger's just gonna lock up." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
that would be like a small little thing I bet that they could put in.
But yeah, in terms of like if you play Astro's Playroom, that game was designed specifically to show off everything that controller can do.
Absolutely. Here, get a little closer look at it. And one thing I will say, this is probably already, just from a comfort standpoint, my favorite PlayStation controller. This
Hands
thing
down.
is incredibly comfortable. The PlayStation 4 controller was pretty good, and I like the PS1 and PS2. The PS3 one I've always hated, but this one here, like, it just feels right. Maybe it's because I have bigger hands. I don't know if you have smaller hands how it will feel, but just everything feels perfect for this thing.
It is without a doubt the most comfortable PlayStation controller ever made.
Absolutely. One problem I do have with it is the motion for it. So in Astro's Playroom, there are quite a few motion things to affect it. And I guess this just kind of goes back to, I'm not a big fan of motion gaming. It feels weird, and especially when you're doing these rocket sections, you have to hold down either trigger, the boost up, and as you go up, you like rotate it, and it doesn't feel quite right to me, at least. I felt like I wasn't in full control of where I was turning at times. I don't know if you felt the same or if you even got to that point.
Yeah, so my experience is I played for like 5 minutes, and then I had to go pick my dog up from the vet, and then I got back, and my girlfriend took over while I was editing the unboxing video. So she played a lot of that, and then I picked up Miles Morales later at night. But yeah, like when I first started playing, like that first 5 minutes, it just has you kind of like pull the triggers to feel like this stuff, and I was blown away. It was insane. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's something that I haven't felt before in a gaming controller, and that's really cool. I think this is... We talked a bit about this in the Series X first impressions video, that, yeah, this was like the next gen feeling that we were hoping for. And I think it completely delivers. I'm very impressed with this controller. The Series X controller is pretty good, but I think this just blows it away.
Yeah, I honestly would be very surprised if Microsoft is not already working on something with similar tech in the triggers at the very least.
Yeah, probably like the Elite Series 3 or something. Like that'll be their next like high-end controller. Yeah, this thing, it's so cool. Yeah, I could just go on and on about how much I love this thing. In Astro's Playroom in particular, that's the pack and title. If you just run through the game, I'd say it's probably about 4 or 5 hours long. I was working on guides for it for GamePer last night, and I just played for probably like 8 or 9 hours. That game's really awesome. It shows off everything you can do with the controller really well. The design of the game itself is really good. It's really good platforming. There's times that you like jump into a new costume and it changes up the gameplay. So that would be like the rocket thing I was talking about. There's also a monkey thing where you have to hold down the triggers and rotate yourself up a building or a cliff. There was one I wasn't a big fan of. It's where you get into this ball and you use the touchpad to just like flick yourself in whatever direction you want to go.
My girlfriend absolutely loved that.
Really? I didn't. I don't know. Because you don't really press down on the touchpad to do it. You just kind of swipe across it. And yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of it. But that also probably part of that is because I just kept falling off like the short little edges and everything. But
I mean, we could talk about the controller all day, and I'm sure when we do a full-on podcast, we'll talk about it more. But let's move on and talk about like the solid state drive in this thing. Would you say it's just as fast as the Xboxes?
I haven't. I would need to test like the same games between both, and I haven't done that yet to say that it's faster or not. It's fast though. And it works. Regardless, you're not gonna go wrong with either SSD. They both work great for what they do. One thing I thought that was really cool with the PS5 is on the menu you can like actually pull up. I only did it in Astro's Playroom. You can actually like pull up a menu that will like show all of the levels in the game. And you can just be like, oh, I want to go to SSD Speedway. And you click it, and it loads up that level in particular right from the home screen of the PS5.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's super fast, too. It took maybe 2-3 seconds. Like, it's really fast.
I mean, comparisons I've seen of the hard drive online, they're very similar. You know, the Xbox is slightly faster. But I mean, what's an extra 2 to 7 seconds loading when you're already saving like a minute?
Yeah, regardless, it's so much faster than what we saw in the Xbox One and the PS4, and that's important. Like, that's really what we needed this generation.
The one thing I will say, so Xbox has been kind of flaunting this quick resume feature where you can kind of go between games really quick. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong on the PS5, but I have not been able to get something like that to work. Is that
the PS5 doesn't have it?
Like nothing similar to it, so it just closes each game and reboot. Okay, all right, that's a huge advantage then.
Yeah, because the Xbox Series X, that is awesome. I love that. So that's what I've been doing with Valhalla. I've already talked about how Valhalla has really fast loading times on Series X anyway, but when I'm done playing it for the moment, I just back out. And I'll like go on YouTube or something. And when I'm ready to get back, even with it turned off, I can just turn it back on, click on Valhalla, and it'll instantly put me where I was when I backed out before. On the PS5, you have to like actually start up the game again and everything.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed. And I didn't know if I just was selecting the wrong setting or something. But yeah, that's a huge advantage for Microsoft, that quick resume.
Yeah. Regardless, though, they're still super fast. They both run fairly well. But yeah, quick resume, where the DualSense is Sony's like big boon so far. Quick resume is definitely the big one for Xbox.
Yeah. Let's talk about the size of this hard drive as well. 800, what is it?
25?
Yeah, 825, I think. Like, man, that is not enough. And the fact that you can't even expand it yet. There's technically no compatible solid state drives, and even if you found a solid state drive, you know, any NVMe, what is it, M.2 drive, I think that's a technical like connector, but even if you put it in, it won't work because Sony has to patch in an update that activates that drive essentially.
Yeah, that's not good.
That is not good, not at all.
That's not good at all. Yeah, this just goes back to just Sony. For whatever reason, they have these issues with like compatibility and everything, and this is just the latest iteration of that. I don't understand how they've gotten to this point without bringing that in. Hopefully that comes in sooner rather than later, because a lot of these games are pretty dang big, and you're going to be filling up that hard drive or that SSD fast.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody like me who I mainly game on my Xbox, I don't think it'll be a big of a problem because I mainly use my PlayStation for exclusives. So, for instance, once I'm done with Miles Morales, I'll probably just delete it off to clear the space. But for somebody like if Xbox only had 825 gigs, I would have that full already and be very aggravated. And that's exactly why I bought the additional hard drive, that the Seagate one that goes in the Xbox. It's because I know I'm going to fill both of them up. So if PS5 is your primary console, definitely be weary of the fact that you only have 825 gigs of that solid state drive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna go fast, and it's only gonna get worse when a game like Cyberpunk 2077 comes out. Do we know how big that game is yet?
I don't think so. Not that I know of.
Regardless, like, that's gonna be huge, and then you add on Valhalla, which we talked about before. I don't know the size of it on PS5, but on Xbox it's under 50 gigs, so that's not too bad. But let's say you have Call of Duty, which is 100 gigs, NBA 2K21, which is 100 gigs. Like, that's quickly filling up your SSD with not much room for a lot of other things.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you want to touch on? Like, what have you been playing? Just Astrobot? Is that the main thing?
All of my time yesterday was focusing on guides for Astro. I downloaded Sackboy's Grand Adventure, something like that.
Yeah, something. Is that a similar type of game? Is it a platformer?
Yeah, it's a 3D platformer, but it's where Astro was just made to be like a tech demo for the controller.
It's a full-on
this
game.
This is an actual game. I don't know how much is in there. I'll as soon as I get the chance, I'm gonna start it up. But yeah, you've been playing Miles Morales though, right?
Yeah, I have been absolutely loving that game. It picks up same beat, right. It doesn't miss a step from the Spider-Man game that came out in 2018. It kind of just takes off right away. Like, I don't feel, you're learning new abilities as you go, but it doesn't feel that way. And I don't know if that's because I already subconsciously knew how to play the game, but it definitely feels like you're you're up and running right away, essentially, in fighting dudes and stuff. But I've been loving that game. I've kind of been going and just getting collectibles. Like, say I have to go, I don't know, across the map for a story mission, I'll literally be going around getting all the collectibles on the way. So I anticipate it's going to take me longer than most people to beat the game, because I think most people have said it's around 8 to 10 hours to beat. But I anticipate when I do finish the story, it'll take me longer, just because I am doing all this extra stuff along the way.
What are the collectibles?
So there are time capsules. That's one of them. And there's not that many overall in the game. I think there's 16 time capsules total. And then another one they're these caches to get tech, and you can use the tech that you find in it to upgrade your suit, or unlock new suit abilities and stuff. And then I think those are the only two collectibles. And then I just unlocked a new thing where it's not really a collectible. It's an air. I want to say it's almost you remember in Spider-Man there were the Sable bases or something.
Yeah.
I just unlocked where it put similar type of enemy bases in certain zones.
So it's just kind of the same thing again.
Similar, yeah. But yeah, overall I've been enjoying the game.
That's cool. I'll give it a try as soon as I can. I'm too busy at the moment. The
music in it is fucking amazing. It's got a great soundtrack. It's got similar vibes to Into the Spider-Verse. Granted, they don't have all the same licensing and stuff, so it's not the same soundtrack. But the soundtrack itself does have very Into the Spider-Verse vibes. And the visuals in this game, it looks fucking amazing. It looks so good on my 4K OLED. Oh man, it's great.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that it's pretty good, because I love Insomniac, and while this isn't the Spider-Man 2 game that I really am excited for, it's pretty cool to see Miles Morales take the spotlight for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. What else? Did you try any apps or anything on it?
So I did some YouTube, I did some Hulu, and Hulu for some reason was taking a bit long to load up the videos I was trying to watch. Not sure if that was a server issue or my internet. YouTube, I had no problems, but yeah, Hulu had some weird loading issues. But other than that, everything looked to be working just fine to me.
That's weird that it would take a while. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
granted, I feel like most of this stuff just has to be optimized, right?
maybe.
Like,
Yeah, because I was watching Hey Arnold with my daughter, and yeah, it just the first episode took probably 10-15 seconds to load, which is just
that's weird.
super long for something like that. I did jump into a party with her. She was on her PlayStation 4, and that worked pretty fine.
Cool.
Real quick, I want to talk about the main
UI?
menu,
Yeah.
the UI for the PS5, because it's quite a bit different from the PS4, and that really threw me off.
Yeah, I found it confusing at first, honestly. But
Me too.
Now that I know what it is, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
when I was trying to turn it off for the first time, I instinctively held the PlayStation button down, and nothing happened. I was expecting like a screen to come up, like, "Oh, do you want to turn the PlayStation off, turn the controller off?" But no.
I just been doing that from my controller,
What?
turning it off and on.
Oh, what? Well, no, I mean, like on the controller, I was holding the PlayStation button in the middle.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Like,
yeah,
because you could do that on the PS4 as well. And
yeah,
on
the
Xbox.
PS4 you would like hold it and it would bring up the guide thing. On this one you just tap it and a thing from the bottom comes up. Yeah, that really threw me off too because I was used to the PS4, but once I started thinking of it as like an Xbox thing where you just tap it and the guide comes up, I was like, okay, that's fine. I like that. It's a little closer to what Xbox was doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, when you bring up that thing there, it's got like your friends and everything that are online. You can quickly switch to a recent game or app, turn it off, and there's quite a few things down there. Most of it I have to look through still, but what I did go through there works really well and it's fast.
Yeah, I think the one thing that was confusing is because like if you tap the if you tap it, that bottom bar comes up, and then if you like hold it for a little bit, the main menu comes up.
Yeah, because if you hold it, then it brings you out to
like
the main menu.
the dashboard.
The dashboard, yeah.
And that dashboard is super simple. Like, there's not much to it.
Super small, too, which was really weird.
It seems like it's all in the upper left-hand corner of your screen, right?
And it's divided into only two things. You got games and media.
Yeah.
Which, okay, fine.
And if you're under games, the leftmost thing is the shop. And then the next thing is, like, PS Plus collection to try and get you to go look at those games. And then it just starts listing games you've recently played or downloaded. And then at the end is your library. And that, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's
a little too simple.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it probably would have been better if they went back to more like a PlayStation 4 approach with that stuff, I think. Especially for the people that played that console a ton. Because, when you look at it, it's like, okay, well, before I had like folders and you could see everything there and you just scroll to the right to bring up your library and everything's right there for you. On this one, you have to do a little more digging to find the stuff that you're actually looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement when it comes to the UI. Especially that dashboard. That screen that pops up when you're in game, like kind of like when you just tap it. That screen I think is fine. I don't think you really need to
that thing's awesome. I like that. But the main menu dashboard thing, whatever you want to call it, that thing could use a little refining. It's not terrible, but it's a little off-putting, I think.
Yeah, I will say everything looks very crisp. Like everything looks very, very crisp. But I mean, I guess this has been our kind of initial impressions of the PlayStation 5. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Did you pick it up? Are you waiting to get it? Are you going to pay a scalper $500 extra to buy it? Definitely don't do that.
Don't do it. Not worth it.
But yeah, let us know in the comments below what you think of the PlayStation 5. As always, follow us on Twitter at Pixel Street. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get that custom URL.
Yeah, we are.
I think we need 80 more subscribers. So
hey, we're gonna slowly get there.
This is the video that's gonna get us there.
Yeah.
Yeah, as always, stay tuned right here to Pixel Street videos for more gaming podcasts, reviews, unboxings. Yeah, I guess just content.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, see you later.
Bye.